He'll play the Shut Up and Come With Us. Worst case scenario, he gets another one of these 2020 choppers. Best case scenario, he just gets another random animal. Okay, so we got the best case scenario. Hey everyone, it's ADAKAI TCG here, and I just want to give a quick few updates about some things coming up. So I am hosting my very first Win a Box tournament. It's called the ADAKAI Rumble, and it's going to be this Thursday, September 26th at 7 p.m. EST. I have a link below where you can click, sign up on Best Coast Pairings, and it should be a great time. I'm capping it at 32 players for this first event, but hopefully in the future events I can offer more prizing and have more people rostered on. And so it's going to be really fun. I'll also be providing custom cards for prizing support, things like my Dawn set and some custom leaders. And the winner will also get a custom winner card. And so it's going to be a black, yellow Luffy Mamba Day winner card. And so that should be pretty awesome as well. So make sure to click on that, sign up before all those spots are taken up. And yeah, aside from that, I also wanted to announce I am on Twitch now. And so I'll be streaming 3 to 4 times a week. I have my schedule listed in my Twitch schedule, but it's mostly going to be Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then probably every other Saturday. But yeah, make sure to check it out because I'm going to be hopping on there, doing some OP08 testing, probably doing also some like drawing streams, and I'm going to also have my buddies on there. We're going to be playing certain matchups that you guys want, and so I have a lot of cool ideas. And if you guys haven't already, sign up and join my Discord. I'm announcing everything there. I'll be doing giveaways there, and I'll also be taking in stream ideas there too. So like things like submit a deck list, where you can submit a deck list and I'll play it, I'll talk about it and see where it can improve and what my thoughts are on it. And so yeah, it should be a good time. But with that being said, let's get to the video. Hey, what is going on everyone? It's ADAKAI TCG here, and today I'm very excited to be talking about none other than Starter 14 Black Luffy. If you guys know anything about me, I am a huge fan of Black Luffys. I was able to top a Treasure Cup. I got 4th place with the Starter 8 Black Luffy back in set 4, and so I was really excited about this leader when it was coming out. I released a video earlier, but you know what's crazy to me is a little story. I was driving back from Peoria with a buddy of mine who, very good player. He went to nationals. Ace is a solid player, but I was talking to him about Starter 14 Luffy, right? Because the week that I was coming back from Peoria was, I think, the week that it was coming out. And I was just talking about like, hey, like I really think this deck could be a meta contender and a sleeper pick. Just because of, one, Law being banned out of the picture, which kind of mitigated a lot of decks from coming into the meta. But 2, he's a leader that can become a 6K leader, right? Which we saw how destructive that is with Newgate. But also he's an anti-meta leader in a sense of he's raising the cost of all the characters by 1, meaning it's harder for your opponent to remove anything from your board, right? In a meta where cost reduction and cost removal is like rampant. And so we were talking about it and all the possibilities, but in all of my testing, I'm, for whatever reason, and I just didn't think about it any other way, but I was like, I felt like the deck lived and died on running the Straw Hat stage, right? The Sunny Go. And so, yeah, it felt like, all my testing, like the games where I saw that stage, I felt like I was in like a massive lead and I could just do it. But then it almost felt like purple with Onigashima, right? And then in the European Nationals, we see a few people cooking, running the stageless build and running, or like, where it doesn't matter as much and just running black good stuff. And I was like, of course, why didn't I just think about just putting like the broken black cards into the Luffy deck? Because those are like, well, let's let the leader ability be and then run it with just the black cards that are like really, really good, right? And so No, kudos to them. I'm so happy that this leader had such a strong showing in the European Nationals, and I'm excited to see like just how strong it feels even in the '08 meta, right? And so I'm going to be talking about this list. I'm going to be talking about what I think are kind of non-negotiable cards and where we have some flexibility. And we'll talk about why we're running the ratios that we do. But with that being said, I'm super excited to talk about this leader. Let's get right into it. We have Monkey D. Luffy, the starter 14 one. He's a 5k power with a strike attribute. His leader ability reads, give Dawn ×1. So if you attach Dawn to him, give all your characters +1 cost. If you control a cost 8 or higher character, this leader gains 1000 power. Meaning he's going to be a 6k leader even into your opponent's turn as long as you have an 8 cost character or higher on the field. Really good ability, but a little caveat. If your opponent, say, is a black player, he can reduce the cost of your 8 cost character below 8. Luffy will lose that 1000 power. And so he gains it contingent upon whether you have that active character that is, well, not active character, a character that has a higher cost than 8. And so don't be surprised if you do get lowered, but just know that's how the interaction works. But let's go through the deck. I was thinking about the best way to go through this, but I think we're just going to go through it kind of in some order, and I'll try to talk about some combos afterwards. But we're running 4 copies of the 3-cost Brook. I don't think this is negotiable. This card is too valuable and too good across too many situations where you do want to see it in most games. But it's a 3-cost 4k character with a 1k counter. On play and when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost for the turn. Then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 0. Really, really good ability. Really flexible ability. You don't have to KO the person you give -1 cost to. You can give -1 cost to a different character and then KO another character that's 0 cost. And so he allows for some flexible play lines. But he's also a good target for Rebecca, because Rebecca can grab him from trash and play him out. And so we'll talk about some more combos with that later. But again, this card is really good. I think it was really slept on for a while when it first came out. Believe it or not, I think this card's like $20 now or something like that, and just for the regular SR, which is wild. I picked up 4 copies of the alt art back in EB for like $15, $17 because no one was playing this card. But yeah, but make sure, like, I think this is a 4 for sure. We're running 4 copies of the 5-cost T-Bone. He's a 5-cost 5k character with 2000. He's a 2k counter, which is great, very flexible. He has the Navy tag, which is also great because he's searchable by brand new. But he has a great on-play ability, right? So on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost of 2 or lower. And so just another flex option, right? To build a body that can swing into leader because he's a 5k power, but also KO an opponent's character with 2 or less. And so also fishable by Rebecca, meaning that she can both grab him back as a 2k or grab him back as someone that can combo and KO a character on the field, right? And so really flexible play lines here already if you're seeing just between these 3. We're running 4 copies of the 4-cost Kuzan. He's a 4-cost 5k power. On play, you draw a card, which is fantastic. He replaces himself already. And then give up to one of your opponent. When attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 cost during this turn. Really strong ability, really good synergies with the deck. And we're going to talk about all the different Moria combos in the future, but he is a character that Moria can fish out and play out. You draw a card and you develop a threat, right? And so this is a card that your opponent has to deal with, or else all of your plays start to get way more value than they should. We are running 1 copy of Kobe. This is just something that I'm teching in and I'm trying in. He's a 3-cost 4k power with a 1k counter. And on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. And so he's from OP08, and you do have to trash a card from hand, which is pretty neg at times, but the reason why I brought him in here only at a 1 of is because this is a viable Rebecca target, right? And in some games, there was just like, I needed that extra like couple cost reduction to KO something very important on the board, and Rebecca into Brooke just wasn't doing it, right? Or the Moria into Rebecca into Zooro into Brooke was not doing that for me. And so I was thinking about the one-offs that a deck like Black can run, right? Because even if you draw him in hand, you don't need him. He's a 1k counter, so you can just put him in trash. And now he's in your arsenal for your future turns for Rebecca to kind of grab. And so as a one-off tech, he felt really good. And it came up in a lot of my matchups in locals and even a lot of my sim matchups too, where this card was able to give me that extra little oomph to either mitigate and control the board to where I stabilized, or help me KO like a blocker that was a little bit higher cost and go for game, right? And so very, very good card. I really think as a one-of, it can work just because we play so much from trash, right? And so my thoughts on that. If you don't want to run this, Kobe, I understand it's a very interesting choice. You could just run 4 copies of Jack. You could run a 9-cost copy of the Kaido, or like another Sabo or something of that nature, another Sanji. But again, I really do like this card. I don't think I'm going to be replacing it until I find a good enough replacement card for it. But for me, it felt very nice, and he's searchable by brand new, right? And so just another target for that. And so yeah, just a one-off tech. We were running 4 copies of Zooro. Definitely needed this at 4. You give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2 costs for their turn. It's a 2k counter. It's something that you can play with Moria as well to reduce an enemy's character by 2. And you don't never feel bad about playing this rested because you want it to be in your trash, right? And so there's that. We're running 2 copies of Borsellino. It's a 4-cost 5k body with a 1k counter, and on your opponent's turn it gets 1000 power, and it cannot be KO'd by effects with a blocker type. And so just a solid, good blocker. I think he's still one of the best black blockers that we have, maybe opposed to Sabo. But yeah, we're running it at 2 of because 2 seems okay, where we're probably going to see 1 or 2 in just 1 a game. You only really need 1 in trash if you ever want to bring it out with Moria and you need a blocker that can't be KO'd. Just a great safe play. It can be searched by brand new. And so really like this card. It's really good against the Black Mirror, and yeah, has a lot of legs. We're running 2 copies of Isho. This card is very great into the Black-Yellow Luffy matchup. Even into like the Black Mirror, it's good. It's good into so many matchups. It's good into Bonney. Anyone who's kind of holding a lot of cards, you're not only reducing 2 cards from their hands, but you're also getting a blanket effect of minus 3 cost to all of your opponent's characters, which really help accelerate and increase the reach of all of your other characters. And so very good card. I'm running it at 2 of. I would not run it anymore because of how many bricks that we have, with the Kuzans, with the Morias and Jacks and Sanjis, and even like the Ice Ages. And so 2 seems like enough, especially because we can search with brand new. And so we have 4 copies of brand new. And so this is great. We get to look at the top 3 cards, reveal a Navy type, and then place the rest in our trash. It simultaneously builds us trash while helping us search for a Navy card that we want. And also, we get a lot of searches with this guy because Moria can also grab him out and play him rested, meaning we will be able to constantly search as long as we have a brand new in our trash. And so sometimes you're searching more than 4 times a game, right? Which is kind of crazy, but that's what Moria allows us to do with this card. And so just another great option if you don't need the Zooro minus 2 cost. And so we are running 3 copies of Sabo. This card is also very, very good into the Black Mirror. Also very good at cycling your hand if you just have a lot of dead cards that you don't need. It's a really strong play on 5 just to be able to negate anything from being KO'd, developing a blocker that can also swing at a 6k in the future, and cycling our hand, which could be very much bricked if we don't play it carefully. And so I'm running it at 3 of. 3 of seems fine to me. I never play more than like 2 a game anyway. And if we really need it again, we can fish it back with Rebecca from Trash and just play it again. And so we get some synergies there. 4 copies of Rebecca, definitely needed a 4 of. This card is hella busted, and I'm so shocked it didn't get banned because Moria without a Rebecca isn't as toxic as Moria with Rebecca, which when I say it like that, I'm like, duh, but this card is, I think, what really makes a deck like this broken because, you know, it's just so flexible in what it can do, right? So if you don't need to KO anything, right, you can just play Moria into Rebecca into Brand New and then draw a card or get a card from Brand New and then fish back like whatever you need with Rebecca, right? If you need a high end, you can even fish back a Jack. You can fish back a Sanji if you need a KO as well. Or you can fish back a blocker like Sabo, Borsellino. But what I mostly use it for is like fishing out 2Ks, right? You get your T-Bone back, you get your Tashigi back, meaning you're just like gaining 2 cards right there and then. And so very strong card, very overtuned for what it's cost and what it can do, right? And so, yeah, there's just so many play lines you can do, right? And so that's why we're running Kobe out of 1 of, because she can grab back Kobe and then just play the Kobe and then KO something with a little bit higher cost. And so, yeah, I really do think Bandai in the future has to do something about this card because it just lets you get too much value. And it develops blocker, which is like, oh my gosh. And so, anyway, we have the other busted card. We have 3 busted cards coming up. And so, this is the second of the 3. It's Gecko Moria, 8 cost, 9k power. You guys are all probably familiar with this and tired of hearing it, but on play, you get to choose up to 1 cost 4 character and 1 cost 2 or less character and play 1 active and 1 rested. And so, as you can see from our card pool, we have a ton of options, right? We have so many options. So if we don't have Rebecca in Trash, we need to KO something, we can just play the Kobe and Zooro. We can play, if we don't need anything, like we have a blocker up, we're good and we're chilling, we want to develop for the future turns, we can just play a Kuzan and Brand New, and we just draw basically 2 cards, and now we establish another body that's going to really synergize with the rest of our deck. We can play back the Rebeccas, the Brooks. There's just so many play lines you can do with this. The more you play this deck, the more you're going to be like, wow, there's just like, it feels like infinite possibilities, right? You know, you can even do something as cheeky as like playing back as Tashigi active and a Suru rested, right? And then you minus 2 cost, then you rest this to minus another 2 cost, and then maybe something like your Brook that's already on the board is going to hit something that you needed it to hit. And so, yeah, there's just so many play lines you can do with this, and so very busted card. Being able to establish, you know, at minimum 2 and maximum 3 with Rebecca bodies on the board is just cracked. And so there's that. And then we have the other busted card, Jack. He's a 7 cost, 8k character. He has the effect where this character gains 4 cost, just blanket. And so he's an 11 cost body on the board. He's 12 with Luffy's ability, and he has an even more cracked activate main, which is you can rest this card, draw 1 card, trash 1 card. So it's a better Sakazuki effect because you're drawing first, then cycling what you don't need. And then you get to KO up to one of your opponent's 3 cost or lower characters. And so very strong. Gives you card cycle. He's a big beater, being an 8k, very hard to remove, being a 11 cost. And so he kind of really blends this whole deck together, you know? And so there's that. We have 2 copies of Tashigi, just another 2k that's searchable by Brand New, but also has a good secondary effect that can also be brought up by Moria if you ever need it. But although it's kind of rare, like I almost rarely ever do it that way, but and she can also be fished out by Rebecca again, right? So T-Bone and Tashigi can be brought back from Rebecca if you just need another 2k in hand. And so very great. We're only running 2 copies of this 5 cost Sanji because the card art is so ugly. No, but two copies is enough for this card. You only ever really need to see 1 or 2, and then you can always cycle it back with Rebecca if you need just another card that can KO a little bit higher of a cost, because he does on play, if you have a cost 6 or greater character in play, you get to KO up to one of your characters with a cost of 5 or lower. And so very good card. 2 of it is okay because you can always cycle it back in. And so second to last, we have 3 copies of Nico Robin. So she is a 6 cost 7k character with a 1k counter. On play and when attacking, if you have an 8 cost or above character on the field, give up to one of your characters -5 cost during the turn. And so really good card to play after you've played your Jack, right? Because once you have the Jack on the board, he's an 11 cost character, meaning on play you get to automatically reduce another character's cost by 5. So if we're going first, right, and we establish Jack on 7, and he survives that turn, then whatever your opponent summoned the following turn, as long as it's not another Jack, we'll talk about if it is another Jack, but as long as they, if they are on their 8th on turn, whatever they summon on their 8th on turn, if you can drop a Nico Robin, it'll reduce that 8 cost to a 3 cost, meaning Jack can KO it, right? If they do drop a Jack, cool thing is you can still drop Nico Robin, and you just need another cost reduction to end up getting a KO, like an Ice Age, which is absolutely worth it if you can tempo their Jack while developing another body. And so that's the cool thing about Black Luffy, is that we don't need to like finger pistol or do anything like that. We get to establish a body, and then this Nico Robin just gets extra mileage because now it's a 6 cost 7k body, and each time she attacks too, she's going to give -5 cost to a character, meaning these two will just keep comboing together like crazy. And last but not least, we're running 4 copies of Ice Age. Very necessary card. I wouldn't reduce it by anything. I think 4 seems good. Sometimes I even want to run 5 if that's possible, but I love this card. This is a 1 cost event where you give up to one of your opponent's characters -5 cost during the turn. And it just really helps you reach all those higher bodies that you wouldn't normally be able to reach otherwise. And so running it at a 4 of is great. You get to search with the brand new. And unfortunately, sometimes you end up trashing it, but it is what it is. But anyway, that's the deck. We're going to get into some gameplay, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys, how you feel about the Kobe. I personally really like it, and I want someone to try it and let me know that it's not just cope. But with that being said, let's just get into the gameplay. Alright, so this first match, we're up against a Zooro, or Zooro probably. We're going to go first. And we like this hand. We're going to keep it. We have a couple counters. We have the Rebecca and the Brook. And so we're feeling pretty okay about this hands. Here, so he drops a Kureha turn 1. And grabs a Shut Up and Come with us. He's probably going to leave this one up. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to swing into him this turn. I'm just going to drop the Brook, KO that, and say pass. We're okay dragging this game longer. We have blockers. We have Jack coming out. We want to be able to mitigate the board while maintaining some life. Like we're okay dropping down to like 1 or 2, but then stabilizing at that point. And so that's kind of our game plan right now. We will counter. He's probably going to establish something and then pass so he can do the Shut Up and Come with us again. That's fine. We are okay with that. Here. So I can't KO 2 things here, which is unfortunate, but what I think I will do, I want to get rid of this guy, and so I'm inclined to actually almost drop my Zooro for that. The other way we can do it is to drop the T-Bone, but I might do the Zooro into the Rebecca. Swing twice into this thing. Even if he summons another thing, we still have a blocker. And then the next turn we have Tony Chopper. Jack coming out, and so I think that's what I'll do. He'll play the Shut Up and Come with us. Worst case scenario, he gets another one of these Tony Choppers. Best case scenario, he just gets another random animal. Okay, so we got the best case scenario, but that's actually kind of still okay because we have the Jack coming out. And then we are going to drop the Rebecca. I actually might drop the Kuzan here. Oh no, definitely dropping the Rebecca now. Now that he KO'd that, we're going to grab that right back. And we'll play it right back out so that he has to actually try to swing into it. That actually worked out perfectly, you guys. We're okay with all of this so far. Because once we establish this Jack, we're still at 5 life. We're kind of hard chilling right now. So the tricky thing is, I think I'm actually going to try to kill this chopper. Just because... Well, let's see. Let's swing 5 into this chopper, see what he does. Yeah, because I want him to commit a little bit more to try to kill my Jack. And that chopper was going to make it too easy for everything to swing into this Jack. He'll get another body out of this chopper, but we can't help it, you know. It was really good thing he established that at this turn. Wow, so he's going 12 into it. Let's see, can he do... So actually, I'm going to counter out of this because right now, the rest of what he can do is he won't be able to kill anything. So, you know what, we're going to counter out of it. As crazy as that seems. And we'll take a few hits, grab a few cards in hands, and we'll be chilling. Perfect, we got the Moria now too. Yeah, so this Moria is going to actually allow us to... let's see what we want to KO. So I'm going to swing into this guy. KO chopper with this one. Or actually, we can actually go 7. Let's try the greedy play. Okay, he played another Super Bill. That's fine. Because we're going to be sitting at a 6K at the end of this turn. So he has to actually invest quite a bit of Dawn to breach that 6K. And he's starting to run out of gas here. Yep, I don't think he realized I'm a 6K. We'll take that. We'll counter out of that one. My opponent's thinking. It's a tough decision to make. He may drop another Zooro, which I'm okay with. Maybe a chopper blocker? Oh, nothing. That's... So I was not expecting nothing. Let's play that. Let's see here. We'll see what we can draw. Got rid of the whole board. And now we're in a good spot to go lethal next turn. We developed the Kuzan, we have the T-Bone just in case. He develops a blocker, but we still have the Brooks as well, so... Even if he does double Kid Killer, we're going to be able to counter out of one of the attacks because it'll go 7, 8, 8. If he goes Dragon, we can, you know, take the hits and then just crack back. Alright, so he doubled. Yeah, I think I just E-show, which opens up these to go through. We'll put one there. Put one here. We'll do this. KO that. Swing. KO. Yeah, we're just gonna go at his life. I probably arguably might have just been able to go for game otherwise, but I don't think there's any combination of what he can do to kill me at this point. Yeah, he disconnected. At that point, I just was able to stabilize, and so I do think Black can consistently win against Zooro. I think when I was testing Zooro in the beginning, I was only winning against Black because I think they were a little bit inexperienced into how to play against it. But again, like you saw there, like you just don't allow them to tempo out. You play it slow, mitigate their board. If they have one up, you know they have that event, shut up and come with us. So you can dictate whether you want to swing into them on an earlier turn and let them establish or not, right? And so little tricks like that, and you'll be able to kind of stabilize. I was still at 2 life, constantly pressuring his board, and so Black Luffy has the 1K added benefit, so he's a 6K body. That makes it a little hard, but Lucci gets the benefit of being able to actually drop the 4-drop Lucci on turn 2, right? And so if you go second, he plays brand new, fills up his trash. Next turn, he swings with Lucci, minus his 1 to the 3-cost chopper that summons, and you drop a Lucci and you KO like the Kureha and chopper, and then that's like huge value because you now have 3 bodies in the board, or 2 bodies in the board, and the Zooro has potentially just 1 remaining if that 3-cost chopper summons something, and so yeah, but that's game number 1. Let's try to find another game now. Alright, so game number 2, we have a Bonney player. I do think he chose to go first, but I do think Bonney actually has an even worse matchup now into Black because of how Black is teching their cards. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We do want to see 7-cost Jack during this game. Pretty much like all other games too, but we'll take the first hit. That's fine. We got an Ice Age, which sets us up. We're just going to swing 5 here, and then we're going to summon the Kuzan. Oh, perfect. We got the Jack, and so we're sitting in a decent spot. I'll take this one too. Rouge, that's okay. We'll drop the Sanji here and swing 6. He's going to rest our Kuzan. We'll be able to pretty easily defend that Kuzan though, because he'll probably want to establish a body, and so at most he'll be swinging like 6 or 7. And if he establishes a Basil, that's the best case scenario for us because we swing first with... Okay, so he's going to swing 8. I am still going to choose to save this guy. He's going to set us up for a lot of our later game plays. So we have the Rouge. That's okay. So I do want to play the Jack. So what I'll do, I'll swing there. Reduce that. Cool. Actually, I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to play the Isho now. And then swing 5. We'll definitely counter this. I think he's going to try to summon Zooro, but... Oh, okay. A Rosinante. That's actually okay, too. Yeah, this is a perfect Jack turn, right? So we just swing... Oh, I summoned Jack too early. That's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot. I will... That's annoying. Why did I do that? So what I needed to do first there was swing big into this Rosinante, and then summon Jack to KO Carrot. But I'm giving this guy value for no reason. So what's important is I guess either way, he won't be able to defend this. 10, 11. He has to have two 2Ks. So we'll just do that. Because I want to be a 6K leader here. Wow, he rested the wrong person. He needed to have rested my jack. Okay. So my opponent misplayed. And so we'll take that. Yeah, you 100% rest the jack there because at least your carrot will survive. And then you get to lock down my Kuzan for another turn. But at this point, I don't think anything what he does matters because we are actually just too far ahead. Like, no matter what he does, I'm going to be able to arbitrarily remove things, I think. Yeah, because we have this for this. Yeah, this is quite over. Yeah, so I think the Bonney matchup just got even worse into black, believe it or not. Like Electric Luna will hit these two. Honestly, we don't even need the Kuzan anymore. Doesn't matter who he rests. I think it's just over. Yeah, so you can see the power of black into Bonney now. It's just, I don't know what to do. I used to play Bonney, and I wouldn't know what to do as a Bonney player at something tempoing like this. I think the Jack is just such a good like boss monster for this deck. As you can see, I didn't even see a single Gecko Moria this game. And so normally, you know, like at this point you'll have a Jack out on the board and then you get the Gecko Moria cycle too, which is even more atrocious. And so, and even this Nico Robin, once you have the Jack on the board, Nico Robin being able to reduce anything by 5, even on play, means you can KO their Kid, their Rosinante. Just need one more cost reduction to get the Zooro, a cost reduction of 2 to hit the Doflamingo, and so very devastating. Yeah. But anyway, hope you guys like the deck. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I may actually end up maining this deck going forward, and so I'll see. Catch me on the live stream, and don't forget, I do have a tournament going on this Thursday, September 26th at 7 p.m. EST. Link is in the description below. Make sure to sign up. It's going to be the first tournament that I host, so I'm pretty excited about it. And yeah, it's a win a box tournament, and so it's a webcam tournament. So you'll need a webcam and an actual deck, but it should be a good time. I'm going to be giving away a lot of prizing, and so make sure not to miss out on that. Catch you guys later.